Hi. Will anything I say tonight sound coherent? I have no idea. So, I don't know where to start except to say that I feel like I look like a complete and utter basic bitch. Why? Because of my hair and my makeup. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? But aside that, some other things I wanted to talk about would be that I'm currently theorizing that maybe it's possible that you can be on the spectrum regarding autism, and you could also be an empath. Or, on top of it, you could also be a HSP, in other words, a highly sensitive person. Now, unless I'm wrong, again, correct me if I'm wrong, being a highly sensitive person has been, is another word for being somebody with low latent inhibition. Now, here's the most confusing part. It seems that people on the spectrum actually have many inhibitions. It's not a question of shyness or stupidity. It's just there's so many unspoken social rules that somebody on a spectrum would not be able to interpret them, and if they do, it's quite rigid and robotic. Whereas people that are would be considered HSPs, or people who have low latent inhibition, they seem to blend seamlessly, it seems, at least temporarily, in society when they're not overwhelmed. And here's a theory. I'm wondering if it's possible you could be an empath, a HSP, or low latent inhibition person, as well as somebody on the spectrum. Some people online have argued that you cannot be low latent inhibition as well as autistic. However, I don't know, because it's just like there's not enough research or funding or money to prove that these symptoms or personality traits could be comorbid. So, yeah. And if you don't understand what the hell I am talking about, then, well, there's no point really watching this. Because unfortunately, I seem to have this effect on men, where every time I start theorizing anything scientifically speaking, logically speaking, they seem to, within less than 5 minutes, come to the conclusion and say, what the hell are you talking about? Well, it's not my fault that I have something that would normally be considered a male brain specification in terms of autism, but in all honesty, it's not that special. It's just crap, to be honest. I've also found myself in situations that have left me homeless in more recent days, weeks, or in the last month. So I've essentially been homeless for about a month. Why? Because apparently I do not look homeless enough. I do not look impoverished enough. I do not have kids enough. Not that that makes sense, that sentence. And I do not consume enough drugs and alcohol enough to be considered as homeless, which to me is a big fat joke, because when it comes to ticking boxes, it seems you have to look like a certain stereotype to be considered, well, homeless. And, well, I've been homeless for at least a month. I've also been in the case of hidden homelessness on and off for years. And I've been officially homeless, I'd say, for at least a year in the past. The difference is, unlike the stereotypes of homelessness, I do not go around begging for money because, well, why would I? You just go to the food banks or you go to the communities to avoid having to beg for money. I'd much rather live outside in the wilderness or the countryside rather than be caught dead begging. It's just not going to work really in this day and age anyway. I mean, most people hate the homeless. I still have this hang up on homelessness, and I don't know why. I've always felt that to prove myself, being independent at all costs is absolutely vital, except once you're actually homeless, and you realize you have zero, and I mean zero, zilch, nada, nil, none, nothing in terms of connections, you're kind of screwed, because one of the advice a lovely family member gave me, that would be considered my biological birth mother, was that she told me that I should consider becoming an escort, which is a code word for modern prostitution, except I am on the spectrum and I was raised quite religious in terms of Christian denominations, so to turn around all of a sudden when I'm age 21 and homeless and desperate for money, that I should turn to prostitution is a slap to the face, in all honesty. Some people seem oblivious to the prospect of evil on this earth. What I think evil exists, and it manifests as middle class white women who are completely oblivious to the fact that, how can I put it? Being homeless is not a choice. I don't know about being an escort, but being a prostitute, I doubt is a choice either. I mean, who willingly goes in there thinking, great, I'm going to be a prostitute? No one. Because, well, unless you're dumb or desperate, there is no integrity at all involved in such endeavors. And, in all honesty, I don't think such careers would improve my self-esteem. And you know what's depressing? It might be the 21st century, it might be 2019. It seems like, especially as a woman, even in a Western first world country, you're still somewhat, if not entirely, reliant on your family, and your family as well. You could say, well, just rely on the government, or just get a damn job. Well, unfortunately, it's not that easy. Because I've had the exact same qualifications and the exact same work experience as a white male counterpart who would have been considered my partner, and he was offered double the amount, or at least far more job offers than I did. At one point we had identical CVs. Why this is, I don't know. I suspect it's because job discrimination. I've been offered leaflets after being unemployed long enough for minority discrimination. Now, I'm not an idiot in that it's so easy to go down the route of victim blaming according to people on the more right-wing spectrum, but I've tried every endeavor, and you know, something's fucked when you're able to get a fairly decent, well-paying job on the other side of the planet, outside of Europe, before you can even get a job in the UK. Why? I have no idea at all. So yeah, I don't know what this video is really meant to be about, except that it's essentially an update on me being homeless I mean, I'm pushing it by saying this, but in essentially being in love with somebody who is in love with somebody else. When people sometimes say, well, nice guys finish last, I'll be correct. Nice girls finish last. As in, you just become a punching bag of society. For being nice. Being nice makes you be seen as a doormat. Or people think you're sexually flirting with them, or you're trying to get something with them. Maybe I just care. Maybe I'm not really interested in people's genitals. Because honestly, there's more to life than sex. So, yeah. I'm not in the best of situations. Any so-called friend I've had have blocked me, whilst professing that they were my best friend kind of thing. I mean, this is a complete victim rant. I'll be perfectly honest. I'm giving that disclaimer right now, right here, that I'm playing the victim. I am venting. But still, I think it's the truth. And here's the thing. The other day, this is going to sound completely narcissistic, but I looked in the mirror, I dressed up, I wore tons of makeup, and I realized, oh my god, I actually look kind of hot. Like, considering I've been called ugly and stupid and hideous so many times, I thought, for the first time ever, hang on a minute, I actually look good. So I completely forgot what I was talking about, because I had to pause due to a phone call. But yeah, the older I get, the more I realize that I'm not ugly and I'm not completely flawed. And if I'm considered ugly, then what can I do about it? What, should I get punched in the face so then I'm eligible for, like, surgery? That makes no sense at all. And it sounds so vain anyway. So, yeah. I believe I'm just as worthy as anybody else. And I deserve equally good treatment as anybody else.